Hello, French scholars. My name is Rhonda Kitchens. I'm your librarian at the William C. Benani Library at Big Bend Community College. First, I want to make sure you know how to get to the library. Go to Academics to the library. You may be working off a guide that has the databases listed for you to use. But if you don't, I'm just going to show you the regular way you might come. Databases A to Z link goes to 132 alphabetized databases. The first one I want you to go to is called Culturegrams. Culturegrams. So we're going to go down. It's at the end of the C's and go into it. This is going to be one of the most easy databases you've ever used. And if I'm using the term databases and you're like, what is she talking about? Do you use Netflix? Yes, use a database every single day, probably. It's a collection of digital objects. Sometimes it's articles, images, words, podcasts. Sometimes a combination of all of them. Almost all of them have a search, and sometimes when they're really generous and well put together, they'll even tell you where to go if you like one thing to go to another. I'm going to go try to find a nation. Let's see if I do it correctly. I'm going to the continent of Africa, and it's going to list all sorts of different places. Some of these are French speaking, and I'm going to go to the Congo. That is one we can go to, just to give you sort of an overview. It's going to give you a background, custom, courtesies, people, dating, marriage, life cycle, recreation, the whole thing. Also, it's going to have photos that you can use for your presentation if you need to do so, and a handy dandy map. So this is very easy. Simply go to World and select the continent and put in what you need to look for. You can also use the search bar to the right. I'm going to put in Djibouti. No. Djibouti. There it is. And I'm going to go enter. And if you'll bring my screen over here, you'll see that's another way to find it if you're unable to locate it on the search bar. Clear the databases A to Z and go to G for global. Global issues and context. This is a way that you can find newspaper articles, scholarly articles, research, statistics, and issues that are in the different countries. Those may be very compelling when trying to prepare your brochure or your presentation. I'm going to put in Djibouti here, and we're going to go to this particular section. We'll see we're going to have an overview. It's going to give you some quick facts, and then underneath you're going to have viewpoints. You're going to see some academic journal articles. You're going to see some biographies. You're going to see references that will also give you information. You're going to see more maps and more images you might be able to use. And something that may be very, very useful for you, or it would be the news, which might cover some local newspapers or other things that may be useful for you. Economics, travel, social life, and more. And some other issues that may be happening as well. And this database is full text and very easy to use. Bases A to Z. I'd like to show you something new. It's called Points of Interest. It's similar to opposing viewpoints if you've ever used it, but it has an entirely, Points of View Reference Center, but it has an entirely different set of journal articles and other things that it uses. I'm going to again use my test, Djibouti. And I'm going to do a search to show you what might be found. Here we can see that we found Our World, Notes on the Country, something from a journal called New African, Our World, background notes on the countries of the world, all sorts of things that may be useful. Here we have a joint statement between Obama and the president. Both of them are older, but maybe you might look for newer ones, or there may be something there that's useful. Anyway, that too would be an awesome place to do your research. So far we have culturegrams, we have global issues and context, and Points of View Reference Center. These are all very rich. Depending on your countries, these may be more useful than another. So I've made sure I have yet 3 to 4 more ideas for you, just in case these don't work out. I'm going to take you to Business Source. That's going to be under B. That is also an EBSCO database, but it looks a little different. Business Source Elite. Now, the reason you might want to use this is a compilation of business-related journals. The information they may provide on a country may be very different. It may be more economic, it may be more opportunity, it may look at the sociology and the political situations in a different way, perhaps one guided by money or opportunities that may be there. But that might be very compelling information for you to have that you may not have found in the other places. So let's just do a little search. This is a basic one. Here you're going to make sure you do full text. And unless you're specifically looking for history, you might want to move this to the past 5 years. So we'll just move this up. This is going to make this research a lot better. This talks about a personal narrative about a person who goes there. That might be really very beautiful, interesting, give you anecdotes to provide for it. We have some background notes, history, political conditions, all sorts of different stories. This one talks about how, I guess, it's taken off in a business way, and talks about also some wealth funds and other things in regard to it. This is all information you may not have found if you stopped at culturograms, if you'd stopped at global issues and context, if you'd stopped in points of view reference, sorry. So the Business Source gives you a totally different view. And of course, you also have some videos and images you may use as well. Other than that, there are some links that are available to you online that I would like to suggest over some others. Unfinished guide. Hopefully when you see it, my little video will be right here. So we covered culturograms, global issues and context, points of view reference center, Business Source Elite. The other 1, 2, 3 I would like to recommend is the World Factbook. This is put out by the CIA, and it has lots of information about dangers, opportunities, and threats. Again, might be very different from the experiences you've had here. Lonely Planet Travel Guides is one of those things that was started when it was running against very elite types of travel. Lonely Planet is generally taken to be kind of off the beaten track, kind of unusual and beautiful places maybe people don't know about types of travel. So in looking at your different countries, this may give you a neat point of view that no other place has. You'll find sometimes some personal narratives of people who've done the travel and things that they saw and perhaps have eaten and participated in. And finally, travel and country fact sheets by the U.S. State Department. Travel is the main part, and it connects to the very traditional country. I need to change that. Country fact sheets. These can all be searched by name. They're very easy to use. This is going to give you a different level of information. Sometimes the country fact sheets are actually used by diplomats who are moving to the area to help to give them some idea about the practicality of the everyday life there and expectations. And the travel part isn't going to be like the Lonely Planet travel guide. It's going to tell you things to prepare, some of the different diseases and other things you may run into when going to this country. All of these could be very illuminating for your presentation or brochure. So I put these in order of the things I think will help you most. Some of these are a little bit quirky, but some of these may provide you with that edge to do the best project. And if you run into any trouble, please reach out to me. Sometimes these are not one size fits all. I'll be glad to work with you. Write me. We can do a Zoom. And this is not just for this class, but for any class. If you need help, reach out to your librarian. I'd love to talk to you.